Hey guys, what is up? So today we are diving into, well, first my voice. I do apologize. I've been wanting to film for days and I'm just starting to get my voice back. Anyways, today we're going to dive into SUSAN MEACHEN. And if you don't know who she is, she's that author who faked her own, faked her own. Let's get right into it. So SUSAN MEACHEN, she supposedly died in 2020 by She's an indie romance author, and really there's a difference between, an indie author and someone who goes through the traditional routes of publishing a book. So an indie author is usually people who self-publish their book, specifically on Amazon as well. Like there's a lot, and it's so easy to do, and they don't have to go through like getting an editor. They don't have to go through like a photo shoot for the cover or like any fancy stuff like that. And they don't even have to get it printed. I mean, you can, but majority of these people, they just, write their book and then they publish it on Amazon, and then people can buy it for a reasonable price. And it's a way for an author to not to have to go through like this whole rejection process, because if you're an author, you send your books or your inquiry, whatever, to so many companies, and then you got to wait for them to read your book. So it's just an easier route to get your book published out there, to get your story told. And, there's a community for that. Now, obviously, the people who go the traditional route, they view this community, the indie author community, they kind of look down on them like they're not A-list celebrities, so to speak, because they went this route. But anyways, the people in this route, they formed a community where they all supported each other because of this very reason, right? I mean, this community was huge because you had all these authors and fans too who really enjoyed all these genres of novels that people were publishing, and they were able to get like easy access for like $1.99, $2.99, you know what I mean, for like a reasonable price. Now, community that we're really going to focus on is the Ward Group, which is a Facebook group that really was SUSAN MEACHEN's fans. It was like her book club. And what made this even better for this community was that SUSAN was able to post and interact with everyone there. So it's like, it's a small community, everyone's supporting each other, and you have the author interacting with the fans, and it's just a really nice relationship. Now we jump to 2020, and there appears to be SUSAN's daughter, claims to be SUSAN's daughter, who posts on her account that she committed suicide or unalived herself. She wasn't able to handle the bullying anymore, so she unalived herself. And now obviously this post is no longer available, but we can easily verify this because there's a Facebook user, her name is Connie Ortiz, who was SUSAN's somewhat of assistant, saying after that her death was announced that her book was available for pre-order, that it was her last novel, and she finished it before she passed away. She wanted it to be done before her daughter's wedding. So there was like a lot of reason for everyone to kind of get this book. You know what I mean? Like, and if granted, I've known this author and I was like, supporting her and following her, interacting with her, of course, and I just learned that she passed away. Yeah, like I would definitely pre-order this book. Connie was going on saying that unfortunately SUSAN had passed away, but her novel is going to be published on the 30th, and it's available for pre-order on the 20th, and so it's there to be purchased for $1.99. Now keep in mind, the reason why this post was screenshotted is because this post illustrated that there was some type of post where SUSAN posted up, or her daughter posted up, that she committed or unalived herself. Now in 2020, when this happened, the community was going nuts. Like everyone was kind of like, who bullied SUSAN? Like, was it you? Was it that time you did that thing in 2019? Was it that thing that you said? Was that made it? Like everyone was like pointing fingers at each other, trying to figure out like who did what to make this happen to SUSAN. And keep in mind too, regardless of who actually thought that someone bullied SUSAN, like, never blame someone for an action of someone else. If SUSAN actually unalived herself, then, she obviously had other problems, right? You have to be actually going through a huge mental toll and going through a lot of things in order for you to believe what people are telling you, the negative things people are telling you. I mean, there's so much, a deeper issue there. So I would never just be like, oh yeah, it's your fault why she did what she did. And when Susan died, like, the community came together. They started this organization. You know, they had book auctions. And when this organization started, I mean, their whole quote was, you know, let's keep bullying where it belongs in fiction. It was something along those lines. And like all these proceeds, it went to Susan's family. So now we have Connie Ortiz, Susan's assistant, whatever. You know, she makes that post of like October 22nd of 2020. Now we hit February 7th of 2021, and we have this by Susan's daughter, who is like using Susan's account. Here's this post. Here's what Susan's daughter had to say. Unless something changes in the next 21 days, all of Mom's books will be unpublished. Her paperbacks will be going on sale, then unpublished. The only way you'll be able to get the books will be through audio. Her sales and page reads have been zero for a few months now, and it's a waste of my time to work them every morning after work with zero movement. Hell, we hired a PA to help, and it's not helped any so far. So if you want any of her work, then now is the time to pick them up. Also, this account will be dark except for audio promoting. I think that says audio promoting. Anyways, so to me, that's already weird, because why not just have her mom's books up forever? Like, if you're posting them on Amazon, Amazon gets their small commission, right? And then the rest goes to you in your, you know, direct deposit, whatever, how you get your money, right? Every month. So, you know, if you exceed a certain amount of sales, I believe, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but still, if that was my mom, I would have her book up forever. Like, how is it an inconvenience? The book is already written. So what the hell is this post? Questions. Like, man, And what gets me about all of this, because, you know, the title is, you already know this lady faked her death, right? So what gets me about this is, like, she's selling these books for $1.99. For a second, okay? Let's compartmentalize for a second here. What is a good scammer if you're charging your books for $1.99? Can I just be real for a second, okay? I mean, I don't think this whole entire thing is effed up, but I just want to be very clear here. She wasn't a good scammer. $1.99? I'm dead and I'm going to sell my book Steal for $1.99. At least $5.99 at least. I mean, she had like no hope for herself. But anyways, I just had to point that out, that still $1.99? So then, out of the blue, out of nowhere, literally nowhere, guess who just pops right back on social media? SUSAN MEACHEN. And it's very interesting because she gave no real explanation. She just felt like, hey, let's pop right back online. I mean, and there were so many people who weren't having it, but there was one author in particular who also wasn't having it, and that was Samantha A. Cole. Now, I'm not going to read everything, but we're about to read something here, because she was close with Susan. These two were close. Can you imagine, like, having this relationship with someone, you know, and you find out that they passed away, so then you grieve them, and then to find out that oh my gosh, they were alive this whole entire time. So now you don't even know the person that you even were grieving this whole entire time. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, so here's what Samantha had to say. We grieved for the loss of a woman we considered a friend. I personally was harassed by another author who loves to create drama, claiming I was one of the authors who bullied Susan and drove her to which, like, what the heck? So Susan being alive all this time, first off, you know good and well that she was online, right? She's alive all this time, and she sees her friend going through this and does nothing. There's a special place for Susan. There's a very special place for her. Anyways, I was heartbroken when I realized it's been a few months since I chatted with Susan in PMs, and wished I've reached out sooner, and maybe it would have made a difference for her to know there were people who supported her. Last night, a post was made in Susan's old reader group, The Ward, from Susan's profile, and I quote, I debated on how to do this a million times, and I'm still not sure if it's right or not. There's going to be tons of questions, and a lot of people leaving the group, I'd guess. But my family did what they thought was best for me, and I can't fault them for it. I almost died again on my own hand, and they had to go through all that hell again. Returning to the ward doesn't mean much, but I am in a good place now, and I'm hoping to write again. Let the fun begin. I guess in a whole nother universe, if one were to orchestrate this, how would you come back, right? So, of course you can say, oh, but I was unalived. I was dead inside, but I wasn't really gone. I was just dead inside. Here was the plan, in my opinion, of what this bitch thought. She should be prosecuted. What she thought, some big company would pick up her books. You know what I mean? Because she had her daughter writing in the Facebook chats, right? She had her daughter writing and all that, right? And so she thought maybe after her death, someone would, enough people would buy her books in the community to where it would get picked up. And mind you, her books are really bad covers. Like, I can make better covers than that. They're horrible. And anyways, she thought that some bigger company, Barnes & Noble, etc., would pick her up and then get her book out there. That's what she thought. And then who would collect the money? Susan's family, aka Susan's daughter, right? So basically it was revealed that Susan, she made this profile to where her name was Tien Steele. And this is important because you get to see how psychotic Susan is, because this Tien Steele profile messaged Connie Ortiz. Remember, Connie Ortiz was like her assistant friend in a way, right? Who was trying to sell her book because, she passed away, yada, yada, yada. So this Tien Steele, aka Susan, messages Connie Ortiz, who was in charge of this group, in charge of the ward group, and messages her and goes, "Oh, I can take over the group, Connie. I know it's a lot for you. I can take it over." So not only was this bitch like faking her death, but then she wanted to still take power over the group while still being gone. Someone like her, she probably sat, watched a good movie, gave her an idea, and was like, "Oh, I can do this. We'll make money. Let's try it." So then Samantha A. Cole, she reaches out to Susan, and here's what Susan says. So Samantha goes, "What is going on?" And then Susan replies, "Nothing. I simply want my life back. My family was in a bad place and did what they thought was best for me." I don't know, this is bullshit, right? That's what this is. This is like baloney. The story is still developing, but there are people who did go to their local law enforcement to try to figure out what they can do, because at the end of the day, Susan Meachen is a scammer. She's a con artist. She thought that she would get, because what happened if she would have gotten, so much money from this? And the fact that she got any, people were like raising fundraisers for her, book auctions, etc. You have a lot of scammers online, but this was a low blow because you knew these people. And that's what I don't get. I don't get this thing where you know someone and you still want to F them over because, Susan never really gave a shit about them. She cared about their money. So yeah. Anyways, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you soon on the next video. I am so sorry for my throat. Oh my gosh. But hopefully by next week, it'll get better. Hopefully. Anyways, thank you for watching. See you soon.